And welcome everyone, thank you very much for joining me today in the latest episode on my channel. Did you see my live stream? Hopefully you did, and hopefully you all enjoyed it. But sorry that it was like literally, I was debating whether to do a live stream and I didn't give you enough notice. But in the future I'll be giving you a lot more notice than I did yesterday. But hopefully if you've seen it, you enjoyed it. And everyone that got involved, thank you very much for dropping your comments and all that. It was actually amazing to talk to all of you. That's what I love about live streams. I'm going to be doing a lot more anyway, so if you follow me on Twitter, Instagram or whatever, just follow me on those accounts and then I'll just let you know when I'm going to be doing a live stream. It'll be mainly in and around the game time, so I'll be doing a post-match live stream after the Tranmere match, so keep an eye out for that. But obviously I'll upload it onto YouTube as well, so you'll be able to view it. If you're not going to be there live, you can watch it later on. But thank you everyone for smashing that like button on the live stream, and thank you everyone for taking the time. And if you watched it, let me know if you liked it and if you'd want some more live streams. But yeah, packed show today. Obviously game day later on against Tranmere at 7:45 PM. But today I've got news on Sadio Mane, bit on Salah and his work permit. And when we were in the live stream, don't know if you've seen it, some people were mentioning the potential deal that was bubbling underneath the table regarding FSG, so I'll talk a bit about that. Ben Smith's talked about, not much, but he's talked a bit, very much a respected journalist. I'll talk a bit about that later on. Jürgen Klopp has talked a bit about Adam Lallana, Coutinho and team selection for the Tranmere game, so I'll talk a bit about that. Origi's commented on his aspirations for this upcoming season, so I'll talk a bit about that. We did talk a bit about Origi as well, which was great to all of us. Talked a bit about the Belgium and his potential. It's a future. It's very big season for Divock. So really much. Hopefully he gets involved this season. Lovren on Tranmere, talking about that. Naby Keita, the little dropped hint that everyone seems to be going mad on. It is absolutely ridiculous. It's like really. But I'll show you a bit about that. So like a little screenshot. But I found that quite hilarious. And obviously, there's a little bit of news on Lucas and potential incoming in a swap deal, so I'll talk about with that. And the final one is about Marco Grujic on his aspirations for this upcoming season. Right, I won't do a lot of the stories because I've got a lot coming up on this show, but I'll only touch on a little bit. But I'll leave, as always, in the description, so you can all check out the stories in full after the show. But yeah, right, let's get cracking then, everyone. But as always, if you like this video, smash that like button if you very much appreciate it. And if you're new to the channel, what are you doing? Join this family. It's very much, I love you all. Thank you very much for hitting that subscribe button. And if you're not a subscriber, come on, join us all. And I'm not going to be doing just transfer news. I'll be doing prediction shows. All of you, it's all about your interaction. That's what I created this channel, because our amazing fan base and every single one of you, we need a platform to like really communicate and talk about Liverpool news. So it's very much what I created this channel for. All of us fans, it's not just my channel, it's more or less yours as well. So all interact, get in the comment sections below, all the live streams, or hopefully potential podcasts I'll be getting news on in the upcoming seasons. And I'll be doing a couple of collaborations as well in the coming weeks, so keep an eye out for that. And if you're new, smash that like button. And yeah, let's get going. Sadio Mane has been ruled out of the tour of Hong Kong, which is a very much disappointment, but on course for the start of the season. Obviously, Sadio Mane was missing last season with a knee injury, but he talks about in the Echo today he's going to be staying at Melwood to continue his rehab, basically. It's very much, that makes sense, because me and you, we'd not want Sadio Mane to go out on tour and get re-injured. He's very much one of our main key players this season. We see how much of an impact it was him getting out the team, and come January when he went to the African Cup of Nations. But Jürgen's talked a bit about it. I'll talk a bit about it today. He is really good, said Reds boss Jürgen Klopp. He is close on coming back to team training. In this moment, I think it will be when we are in Asia. So when it makes no sense to take him to Asia, because he needs to do that, then do the first steps in a kind of team training. He will see how he can do. Maybe some of the under-23s will be here, obviously speaking at Melwood. So when he can start this training, then he can use the opportunity, but we will have to wait. Klopp added on Tuesday morning he was part of the running, so he is the first team. He's in first team training if you want, and they look really good. I think it's getting better, but it is how it is after a long time. You need to build a little bit of muscle again in the squad, in the quads and thighs, which is very important. There's no risk with him because he is a naturally fit boy, and at the moment when he can start to be a real part of this season, he will be a key figure, and he will be very much fit. And he finally closes on, we have not all the time in the world, but we have the time and we will have to use it very carefully. In relation to Sadio Mane, let me know. We are hoping, especially fans over in Asia, I'm gutted that you won't be able to see Sadio Mane. I think a lot of you will be. We're going to be against Bayern Munich and obviously in the Asia Trophy and Crystal Palace as well. But for me and yous, we don't personally, that's the last thing we'd want, would we? We don't want Sadio Mane to get injured. He's, as I said at the beginning of the show, he's very much our key figure, and very much, if we're going to look for getting back into the top four and challenging for a couple of trophies this season and potentially a league title, depends on who we bring in this season, very much, hopefully, is very much looking like he's fit, as Jürgen Klopp said there. But right, yet the next story, Liverpool prepared to sanction, there's the title, FSG prepared to sanction a deal that will shock fans according to the Liverpool Echo. We've heard this before, but hopefully. For me, a couple of you mentioned on the live stream, let me know, who do you think it is that we've got the deal potentially bubbling underneath the table? For me, I'll talk about it now. It's Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. I don't know, there's something about that deal. I think it is for me personally. I hope I'm right, and I'd love nothing better than to have Alex in this team. But yeah, right, let's get started. Liverpool are working on a deal that will blow fans away, according to one Melwood insider reports to Liverpool Echo. The Reds' transfer activity is set to step up a gear this week after former BBC journalist Ben Smith revealed momentum should start to gather over the coming days. Ooh. But yeah, there's a tweet here. I'll leave that there so you can see it there. That's obviously Ben Smith. Someone mentioned, all right, mate, we have been missing your LFC transfer insight. Any news? Obviously, should start to gather momentum next week. So that is very, very important. Obviously, Ben Smith's a very much a reliable journalist, so we'd know a lot more than we actually do. But don't completely go, oh yeah, we're going to be signing someone. But if he can see something potentially happening, very likely to be happening. Who do you think? Do you reckon, who do you think that'll be? I'll leave the story in below so you can check that out. But for me, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. Or it could be Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, Van Dijk and Keita all in 1 week. I think our heads would blow up if that actually happened. Because we obviously, Salah got through the door and Solanke, but we haven't seen a lot more action. We were hoping all of us that a couple of deals would be done by now, a lot more. But we'll have to wait and see. So that is very much exciting. Boss on Coutinho, Lallana and Tranmere team selection. Jürgen Klopp obviously talking about the Mersey Tunnel contest in the next couple of hours. They'll be kicking off. Yeah, the Reds will make their short journey through the Mersey Tunnel to contend their opening fixture of the 2017-18 preparation. Ask whether if he finished, obviously Jürgen Klopp talking about has he started his first team 11? Yeah. He's quoted saying, Jürgen, no, not in detail because I didn't think about it. Why should I? We had a running session on Tuesday, and that's a good thing. That's good because we need to be this, because every day we need to train twice. Like, if you've not seen the Snapchats and all that of the players, you'll look like they're completely knackered. You will be if you're getting like coached and everything by Jürgen Klopp. I would not want to be in one of those training sessions. I wouldn't even be able to do about 2 seconds of that. The fitness work and all that. So he goes on to say, on Wednesday morning, I will make the lineup, but everyone who can run, where's that? If you like, will play. So that is what we'll do, and we'll try to do. We have a nice and a big group at the moment. Little problems here, little problems there. Obviously in relation to little niggles, but not too much so far. He added, We have more than 20 players at the moment and even more goalkeepers. Obviously, Jamal George, last season, if you didn't see, he played up front, the young goalkeeper. Imagine, who's reckoning out the goalkeepers if you wanted one of them to play up front? Who would you like to see up front? Sammy Mignolet? Big target man up front. But he goes on to say, but I know who will start tomorrow. Obviously, he'll know who wants to start. But not an important for me so much. But whoever comes to Tranmere, we'll see pretty much all of them. Obviously, they'll all get a lot of game time. There's a lot more into this interview, but I really recommend you checking it out. Talks about Adam Lallana and Phil Coutinho. Obviously, they continued. Obviously, there's some pictures of them back in training. So that is fantastic. Both of them. Those two in particular. But for me personally, Adam Lallana, he's very much a Jürgen Klopp player. And what he done last season, he's going to be pivotal in our Champions League and league success this season. I think Adam Lallana's going to have the season of his career. Mark my words, he is going to be pivotal to what we do this season. But yeah, definitely check that story out after this. Divock Origi outlines his aims for this coming season. Is his quote on Liverpool's website. Divock Origi is ready to set himself ambitious targets for what he hopes will bring another season of potential progress at Liverpool. The Belgian scored 11 goals for us just in 21 starts in all competitions last season, one more than the 10 he struck in his debut year at Anfield. So he is slightly progressing, but obviously we'd like to see a lot more. He goes on to say, I've made steps and it's up to me to keep progressing. I feel really good, so I go into this season with a lot more excitement. Divock told LFC TV, I'm going to take it game by game, training session by training session. Just trying to express myself and enjoy myself. When I enjoy the game, I always play good. I set myself personal targets, high targets. It is always good to be very ambitious and throughout, and I'm very tough on myself. And I think it is very good to push me to do well. Obviously players, but especially strikers, young strikers. Obviously, if you didn't see the Solanke interview, definitely check that out. He talks about mainly Origi as well. He wants to progress. Obviously, he's 22 now. He needs to be really pushing on. And 22 is an age where if you should be in the starting 11 of any team, whatever squad you're in. So he goes on to say, we have always expected us to be ambitious and I give our best. I haven't really spoken to him. Obviously talking about Klopp. But one thing for me, I already know what I have to do. Origi quote is saying, I just have to go a lot more excitement and enjoy the games and try and take every minute as I can. Obviously, he's talking about his game time is going to be very pivotal this year. All of them will get a lot more game time compared to last season. Obviously, in the live stream, we talked about game time, cup competition is going to be very key in this coming season. So yeah, check the full extent of that interview. It's very much a quality read by Divock. That is on the description, so definitely check that out. Dejan Lovren, for me, before I go into this, Lovren has got a very big season, hasn't he, this season? Obviously, we're looking at bringing Van Dijk or whoever, a big centre-back of a quality, of the calibre of Virgil van Dijk or whoever it is. We're looking, Klopp, by the sounds of it, if he's bringing in a defender, he very much doesn't see a lot much in Lovren. For me, when I've seen Lovren play, he ball watches far too much. He's not interested in his man very much, but he needs to cut out his ball watching when he's playing. Let me know what you think on Lovren. What is he going to do this season? Do you reckon he'll get a lot more game time? Or obviously with a defender that we're potentially bringing in by the looks of it. If Jürgen really trusted Lovren, he wouldn't be looking for an out-and-out world-class centre-back. But obviously every team can improve in every position. But if he had trust in Lovren, he wouldn't be going as high of quality of getting Van Dijk. But it's very good to see that we're not just settled on Matip and Lovren and Klavan. We're going out fully gung-ho on trying to get a decent centre-back in. But right, obviously Lovren is quoted, talked about Tranmere tonight. It's always good to play in the beginnings against smaller teams, just to get a feel for the ball, to feel the team, see how we react in some situations. and how we breathe like a team. We did it quite well last season. We had a couple of really good, quite quiet games. But when it depends on everyone, for us, so happy we are really well against. The most important thing is not to get injured. Obviously, that is very much key. But it's not even easy. I think in England, especially against smaller teams, as they want to prove everything else that they can do, compete against Liverpool, and that's fair enough. But then, he's quite dependent on us. Like, obviously, he talks about when it's dependent on teams like Liverpool and the bigger teams, not to be disrespectful to the smaller teams, but as I've always said, possession is not always key. As we've seen last season and around the Premier League, teams are getting 60, 70% of the ball, but the teams with 30% of the ball are taking their chances and they're creating with 30%, which is amazing. That's what makes Premier League the league it is this season. But then, quality depends on us. Like I said, last season, we did quite well. I would say it's good to be here. We have a lot of supporters here around Liverpool, not just in Liverpool. So I think the fans and other supporters enjoy coming to watch us. And we are really good to play in front of a full stadium in pre-season, the Croatian added. Obviously, there's a lot more to this interview, so definitely check that out. What are your aspirations to seeing Dejan Lovren in this coming season? For me, well, whatever centre-back we bring in, and for partnering Matip, I hope Dejan, obviously, has the season of his career. But for me, he needs to get knuckle down and really concentrate. And him himself really improving on what he did last season, which competition is key. Whatever, if we bring Van Dijk or another centre-back, obviously we've got Klavan there, Sacco, whatever, what happens with Sacco, if he goes out the door. But for me, I really hope Dejan really pushes himself this season. Let me know on your thoughts on Dejan. For me, as I've just said then, I want him to have the season of his career at Liverpool. It will only benefit him, but benefit really Liverpool as a team going forward. So right, this one's a little silly one, right? Where does the title? This is in the Liverpool Echo. Liverpool and Naby Keita, a midfielder, has dropped a huge hint over his future. The RB Leipzig man has seemingly given his blessing to being pictured in a red shirt. Right, there it is. Look at that. That's some quality photoshopping right there. Obviously, it's not really him in the picture, but yeah, apparently, when Twitter and everything goes into meltdown, when all those fans, we're literally, we'll go off anything, won't we? All of us, but that's just like a good one. Obviously, with his birthday cake and his stats on a FIFA card. But yeah, that is really good to see. I really love that, but don't look too much into it. But that was just a little story on Liverpool Echo. I'll leave that in the description. But as always, we'd love nothing more than to actually see Keita in a red shirt, and hopefully, potentially in the next coming weeks, that happens. Right, Lucas HD, according to reports, Reds midfielder, a long-serving midfielder, obviously Lucas, would move to the Stadio Olimpico on a free transfer after not being offered a new contract by Jürgen Klopp during negotiations. So it's quoted as saying, Lucas, who obviously made 12 starts last season, it's in relation to Lazio and a potential deal to maybe do talks with the Dutch lad at Lazio. Liverpool are potentially looking at maybe doing a deal with Lazio if they're looking at Lucas. Besides, for me personally, I want us to keep hold of Lucas. He's not going to be a starter, but he's very much the experience he's got in the Champions League. There's not many players in that team that have got experience in the Champions League. And when we're going to like Camp Nou, all the famous stadiums around Europe, we need, as much as we got a young underbelly of players, it's very much pivotal that we have leaders, and Lucas is very much a huge leader in this Liverpool Football Club. So yeah, that is I wouldn't look very much into that. I think papers have just literally put one and one together. Everyone is going to be chasing Lucas. Obviously, I don't know where he is in relation to his contract length, but I hope we give him like a 1 or 2 year contract. But reports of, like, as I said, 1 on 1, they're talking about obviously we've been linked with the Dutch lad at Lazio. But for me, we haven't been linked with him for ages, and I think they're just trying to put a name with Lucas and be like, oh yeah, we're linking with him. But I can't see it happening. But I'll leave that story in down below so you can check that out. But let me know, what will you do with Lucas? That's the key thing. Do you want us to keep him? Keep him in and around the squad? Or do you reckon we could try and get 5-10 million? Obviously, he's not got a long time on his contract. Or if he has. Right, the final one. From Barcelona to the bench. What for Liverpool's forgotten man? It talks about Marco Grujic. Obviously, he played last season and that quality header against Barca when we battered him at Wembley. For me, he's been very much unlucky with injuries. For me, I've seen him in the under-23s when he played against Everton last season. The back end at Goodison Park. I was like torture, me going to Goodison Park. I was sat with all the Evertonians, me mates. I didn't say much when Liverpool scored. I was like, yes! Kept me mouth quiet. But me mates are all Evertonians. But we watched the young lads at Everton and Liverpool. And Marco was very much, he's a big lad. For even at his age category, he is very much a tank. And I really hope, what do you think about Marco Grujic? How big of a season is this? Let me know down below in the comment section. Do you hopefully want to see a lot more? For me, in pre-season last season, and he looked like an absolute steal, didn't he? But obviously he was plagued by injuries last season, which was a shame. But I really hope he gets a lot more appearances this season. So yeah, that was just a quick one. So let me know your thoughts on Marco Grujic. Lucas, the thoughts on Lucas as well. And the thoughts on Lovren as well. How big of an impact do you reckon he'll have this season? Can he really push himself on? With Origi as well. All get involved. There's so many stories to get involved. But I cannot wait. The Tranmere game is only a couple of hours away. Yes! The first game of the upcoming season. Yeah, it's a friendly, but it's amazing that we're then have the opportunity to see the lads in action in it. But let me know on your thoughts on the game. Score predictions if you didn't leave them in the live stream. But let me know your score predictions for the upcoming match and that. But Sadio Mane as well. Potentially Salah as well. I forgot to mention. He will not be featuring tonight. Obviously, he'll be featuring hopefully against Wigan. He's just having a bit of trouble getting his, not a lot of trouble, but with his visa in relation to him. But he's went to Germany or somewhere and he's going to be getting that sorted. So fingers crossed he'll be able to feature. That was Mohamed Salah on Friday. But yeah, thank you very much everyone. If you've watched it, I know it's a long episode, but we had quite a lot of news to talk about. But hopefully you had a good day. And I'll speak to you very soon. I'll be doing a live stream after the match, so tune in for that. Let me know your thoughts. And thank you everyone for being an amazing subscriber. Thank you for watching. And if you like this video, smash that like button. And hopefully you have a quality day. Up to the heads, enjoy the match. And I'll speak to you very soon. All the best everyone. You never walk alone.